It's really nice to welcome back Dr. Flora Stay.
Thank you.
And Dr. Stay is author of Secret Gateway to Health. She is a dentist. She has taught dentistry. And you know, one of the things that we've never asked you before is what caused this epiphany that you must have had to go from being a general dentist to a dentist that is into homeopathic and natural approaches to dentistry.
Well, what happened was I graduated from a great school. University of California, San Francisco is actually like the Harvard of medical schools, but for dental school. It's an excellent, excellent school. Very top-notch. They teach you all the, conventional dentistry at its best. However, what happened was when right after graduating, my daughter at the time was about 6 years old. And what happened was all of a sudden I noticed she had a rash on her body. And I took her, it started just a little bit on her arm and then it spread, and next thing I know it was on her face and everywhere. So I took her to pediatrician, I took her to allergist, dermatologist, and the only thing I could get from them was corticosteroids and that type of thing, creams, over and over again, and it would go away and it would come back. So I was really at my wit's end. I said, well, let me just start asking people what other options there are, and I start to do some reading myself. And a friend of mine said, what about homeopathy? And I had never heard of it before. So I did some research again and found a physician that practiced homeopathy up in the Bay Area, Northern California. And so I took her there, and he spent a lot of time just talking to her. And he asked her certain questions that at the time didn't make any sense to me at all, about her feelings, emotions, just variety of non-related things, which none of the other conventional physicians had done. And then he disappeared, came back with a powder and put it on her tongue. And he gave me some to take with me to give her, and within 2-3 days the rash was gone and it never came back.
Isn't that amazing?
So that just really opened up my eyes as to what was this, and so I really started to, it opened up a whole new world to me as far as oral medicine. What other approaches are there that I just don't know about that I could incorporate in my dental practice? So I joined the American Holistic Dental Association. I started to read everything, take every seminar I could. But I come from a very medical background. My 3 brothers are physicians. I have uncles, aunts, cousins. They're all physicians. And my father was a botanist who discovered many medicinal plants. So I very much need to know why. And I need to know that I can repeat the same thing. If something's supposed to work, I want to make sure that if I use it on patient after patient, it's going to work. So I took a lot of this information that the holistic approach was teaching me, and I went back and I started to put it to use in my practice. Some of it worked, some of it didn't. And whatever didn't, I discarded. Some of it did, I kept. I found that homeopathic remedies did have their place in certain situations, and I kept those. I noticed that herbal medicine for certain things was fantastic. For example, lavender oil I used to use on my patients to help relax them. So I had eye pillows that they would come into my practice, and this lavender oil was soaked in, it had some lavender oil in it. So the aromatherapy through that would be very relaxing. But of course now we know lavender oil, if you're using it long term, for example in personal care products, there are 2 studies that show it has an estrogen mimicking effect, which
really?
is not a good thing.
Absolutely not.
So as with anything else, over the years, as I really try to study and try these methods, I found that herbal medicine and herbal ingredients again had their place in medicine and dentistry if they're in the hands of a trained practitioner and they're recommending them for specific conditions. And they're very valuable. Same with acupuncture and acupressure. I used to have my patients practice the Hoku point for relaxation. And it would do two things. It would help distract them, take their mind off of what I was doing, and it actually does have some benefits as far as pain from here up, according to Chinese medicine. So I incorporated what worked, what didn't, I discarded. So that again is something that I teach the consumer.
Good.
As far as holistic dentistry is to again do your homework. In the old days we used to have the wagons that used to come around selling us tonics. Make sure that you do your homework, whether you're at a health food store, whether it's the drugs, the pharmaceutical drugs, whether it's the herbal or certain protocols that a holistic person tells you. Just ask the needed questions, which I do outline in my book again, to make sure that you've done your part, that you don't just blanketly go for anything and spend thousands of dollars